I'm marriage and family therapist and relationship consultant, Dr. Becky Whetstone, your marriage crisis manager, and this is the second installment in my video series about how to deal with your relationship crisis. Today's subject is Marriage Crisis 101 for those who've been rejected by their partner. The basics you need to know about what to do when your relationship has hit a period of intense stress and its future hangs in the balance. Chances are, if you're watching this, something terrible has happened in your relationship and you're feeling anxious and panicky. You're looking everywhere you can to figure out what's going on and what to do about it. Most importantly, you want to know if you can possibly save your relationship. Well, of course, I understand that. I work with this issue every day, and I have seen thousands of people over the years, and I'm going to give you some insight into the problem and give you some very wise advice that will serve you very well in the days, weeks, and months to come. Now, in relationship crisis, we always have two people. Typically, one person wants to leave the relationship or at least has turned their back on the relationship, and I call that person the decider. Then the second person, the one who has pretty much been caught by surprise, is the person that I call the rejected person. I know that the rejected is a terrible name, but I've been doing this for years and I can't think of a better term for it, so that's the term I'm going to use. So in this video, I'm going to address what happens to the person who is the rejected person in a relationship crisis. And in the next video, I'll address what's going on with the decider. So, back to the situation with the rejected person. People who I see who are the rejected have almost always just received some earth-shattering news or awareness that has sent them into a total state of shock and panic, such as 1. Their spouse has told them that he or she doesn't love them anymore, or they're very unhappy in the relationship, or they're having very serious doubts about the relationship. 2, they found out some devastating news that will definitely affect their relationship, such as their spouse is cheating, maybe they're texting or contacting someone else inappropriately, maybe they're having an emotional affair, maybe they're lying about something serious, maybe they have a secret cell phone, maybe they're dressing like the opposite sex, maybe they are thinking they're homosexual, maybe they're using drugs, doing something criminal. Maybe they've had a child with someone else, or it could be anything. 3, they're noticing the signs of an affair, though their spouse completely denies it. And 4, their spouse has asked for a separation or divorce. All of these realities are shocking, devastating, mind-blowing, and heart-crushing. And when one of these types of things happens to us, quite frankly, it freaks us out. It sets off panic alarms in our brain that cause us to go into the feeling we all know as fight or flight. And that's when your brain tells you that you're in immediate danger. That panicky feeling is caused by adrenaline and norepinephrine being released into your system. This causes immediate physical reactions. Your heart's going to race, your breathing will increase, your blood vessels will constrict, your muscles will tighten, and the result will be your body responding by stressing all over. If you're in that now, you no doubt hate it and you want it to end. This phenomenon that I'm talking about when you receive shocking relationship news or awareness is referred to as attachment panic. Because the thing that's causing the fight or flight reaction is that your significant other, the person who you're deeply attached to, is pulling away, and you can sense it, you can feel it, and sometimes you can even see it. Anytime the person we're emotionally and romantically attached to pulls away from us, we'll feel the fight or flight response. It's like a major anxiety feeling. So if you are feeling that now, I want you to know that it's completely normal for the situation that you're in, although I know it does not feel good at all. Think of it this way. If you were being attacked by a bear, it would be normal in that situation for you to be freaking out and go into a panic mode. And the same is true when a rejected person enters into the marriage crisis. So in my office, when I'm talking to people who are experiencing this attachment panic, they nod their head yes when I ask them about it, confirming that these are exactly the sort of feelings that they're having. So I'm sure if you're in a relationship crisis, you're feeling much the same thing right now. What comes with those physiological reactions is obsessive thinking about the situation that you're in. Whereas the day before, you might not have been thinking that much about your significant other and what they were doing or the relationship. Now that's about all you can think about. Even worse, self-control becomes extremely difficult. You may feel the urge to be near your spouse as much as humanly possible. Or now you want to do all the nice things for them that you've not done in a long time. You may want to write love letters, call, text, send flowers, or keep track of their every move. And it's during moments like these that your marriage crisis manager, also known as me, Dr. Becky, becomes invaluable. Because it's absolutely vital that you not make things in your relationship even worse than they already are. And you will make things worse. Hear me very clearly. You will make things worse if you chase, pursue, woo, or do anything other than the usual treatment you normally would do with your partner. In fact, the more you leave your partner alone, the better things will ultimately be for the relationship at this time. This may change later on, but right now you need to give your spouse space and leave them alone as much as possible. Here's part of the reason why. In a marriage crisis, your relationship is so fragile that you must imagine that your spouse is standing on a wall like this, and it's tilting back and forth between the decision to stay in the marriage on one side of the wall and to divorce on the other side of the wall. One or two false moves by you during this time could cause your spouse to fall over into the divorce decision side of the wall. In these cases, they could completely give up on you in the marriage and maybe even file for divorce prematurely, which means choosing to end the marriage before all reasonable options have been explored to prevent it. So with all that you have, you must slow yourself down and return yourself to reasonable behavior and not allow yourself to drive your spouse crazy. Because in this crisis process, anything could happen, and we want only good things to happen. So please hear me. It is imperative that you calm yourself down as much as humanly possible and focus on getting yourself as healthy as possible. And leave your spouse alone as much as you can. And let the process work out organically. And that means let it happen naturally rather than try to control it. In the case of a suspected or known affair, pressuring and bullying may cause your partner to intensify whatever relationship they may be having with the other person. It may convince them to turn even more strongly to that affair partner. So it also could influence them to get rid of any and all evidence that may be helpful toward finding out the truth in the future. So trust me, we will eventually be going after the truth. But for now, just tell your partner that you'll be expecting the truth and leave it at that. Even though inside, I know you will be feeling like your chest is about to burst wide open if you don't find out all the facts immediately. There will be a time for that, but that time is not today. It will be soon, okay? But just not today. I understand that what I'm asking you to do will feel impossible to do right now. But this will be where we divide the men from the boys and the women from the girls. The weak will fall to the wayside when challenged, but the strong will have willpower. They will survive if they take my very wise advice. So right now, what I want you to do is start a period of self-reflection. Start thinking about who you are and what part you played in getting yourself into this mess. Instead of obsessing about your spouse, as hard as this is, obsess about yourself. Start a journal where you can spill out all your feelings and thoughts. Take a look at the areas in which you were not the greatest person or partner. These are the areas we will be working on in the days, weeks, and months to come. And if you're like many of my clients in this situation, that should keep you busy for a very long time. So, this is great information that I've given you, the person who's being rejected in your marriage crisis. Stay tuned for much more vital information that will help you through this situation. You'll find videos, articles, and much more all over the website marriagecrisismanager.com. I'm Dr. Becky Whetstone. I am your marriage crisis manager. Thank you for listening. You're in good hands. You're not alone. I'm here to help.